Hello and welcome back to our budget supermarket build. Let's get this box out of the way and then we can get going. Okay, first we need to swap over the I/O plate. This is the I/O plate from the Medion board and we'll have to swap it with the I/O plate from the HP board. The I/O shield is usually held in by a few notches and comes out quite easily. On some OEM cases this is not removable. Both boards are micro ATX, so hopefully this HP board will squeeze into the case. So let's go back to the I/O shield quickly. The I/O shield stops dust getting into the case and also helps with grounding. When removing and plugging in peripherals, it also helps protect the ports. So we managed to squeeze the board in okay without needing to reposition the standoffs. Next we need to install the retaining screws so the board doesn't flail around in the case. So let's turn this case around and get it propped up on the back so we can have a better look inside, and then we can connect up the motherboard cables. So here's the 20-pin ATX version 1 motherboard power connector. It can only be really connected one way and has a retaining clip to keep it in place. This was an advantage over the older AT connections as they could be positioned the wrong way. Older computers put most of their load on 3.3 and 5 volts. As time passed, computers drew more and more of their load from 12 volts. Before this power cable was introduced, there was just one 12 volt line provided to the motherboard. So this 4-pin cable added 2 more 12 volt lines so more of the load could be shifted to 12 volts. The power coming from this connector is usually used to power the CPU, but some motherboards use it for other things as well. This little connector can be extremely annoying as it's very easy to forget to connect it, especially if you remember a time without them. Right, let's get back to it. So as the Medion board had an AGP graphics card installed, we now need to shift this expansion slot cover over so we can install our PCI graphics card. So finally, we're getting near to where we started from, but this time with a working motherboard. Next thing we need to do is install a hard disk. Okay, so the idea of this project was to build a DOS gaming PC out of an old supermarket computer. To get the most out of DOS, we're going to need sound, and that means installing a sound card. This is where it gets a bit tricky, as only some sound cards support DOS sound. Not only that, but the Southbridge chipset on the motherboard also has to support DOS. So I checked out the Medion motherboard, and that actually did have the correct Southbridge for DOS sound. I'm not sure about this HP motherboard though. I guess we're going to find out. So here's an ordered U1 sound card. It has DOS drivers included on the installation CD. This sound card is possibly the last creative sound card to have DOS drivers included, although there is a third party patch which lets you use later ordered U sound cards in DOS. I just need to finish installing the sound card retaining screw, and that's going to be a good place to finish up. So in part 2 we've installed and connected up a motherboard. We also hooked up a PATA hard drive to the build and installed a PCI graphics and sound card. In part 3 we're going to be testing the system out and installing DOS. As always, if you got anything out of this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.